Bank warning, what police want you to watch out for next time you get money from the bank or the ATM. Plus, the party continues for the Little League World Series champs, the new honor for the El Segundo team. You're watching The Rundown. I'm Lynette Romero. In today for Robin Winston. We'll have more on those stories in a moment, but first, September is National Preparedness Month, and we cannot stress enough the importance of being prepared for disasters. From power outages, fires, and floods, we see a wide range of natural disasters that can hit with little to no warning. According to a poll by Wells Fargo, 71% of Americans don't have a detailed emergency plan in place, let alone an emergency kit. Now, if you need help starting an emergency kit, here are some important items to include: a first aid kit, portable battery or power station, matches or lighter, batteries, flashlight, radio, bottled water, non-perishable food, a fire extinguisher, and most importantly, be sure to check your emergency kit every so often to make sure all of your supplies are ready to go. A new highly mutated strain of COVID-19 may not be a big threat to us. Early lab results show that it's not as contagious as previously thought. So we're talking about the BA.2.86 variant of COVID, which appeared in late July. Scientists in China and Sweden have found that the strain is less infectious than previous variants, and it doesn't evade our immunity as effectively. Doctors hope the new upcoming vaccine will have a real benefit against the BA.2.86 strain. Well, Beyonce wraps up her LA Renaissance tour at SoFi Stadium, and the Beehive has been having a blast. Thousands of fans poured into SoFi Stadium for her shows, and guess who's part of the Beehive? Our very own meteorologist Belen de Leon was there on Saturday night with her hubby, Ivan, enjoying the show. Wow, look at those seats. They were right up close and personal. And speaking of Belen, let's go to her for a check of the forecast. Hey there.
Hi everyone, we have pleasant temperatures to kick off the work week, but there are some concerns if you plan to hang out at the coast Monday and Tuesday. That's where a high surf advisory is in effect. We have large waves and dangerous swimming conditions, so avoid spending time in the water and just enjoy that sand and the sun. Now let's talk about the weather pattern, because our cooler than normal temperatures are because of this area of low pressure up towards the Pacific Northwest. By the middle of the week, that's going to lift up and away from us, and high pressure will start expanding westward and cause our temperatures to start to rise. So let's take a look at the trend in Santa Clarita. We've got numbers in the mid-80s through the middle of the week, pretty quiet, but a steady rise in temperatures happens Thursday and Friday. And over the weekend, we're going to be reminded that, you know what? Mother Nature does what she wants, and it's going to feel like summer again. So enjoy the cool down while it lasts.
All right, so live music is returning to Cook's Corner nearly 2 weeks after a gunman killed 3 people and injured several others at the popular Orange County bar. The band playing the night of the shooting held a benefit concert for the victims. The M Street Band played Sunday night at Old World Beer Garden in Huntington Beach. It's their first concert since that tragic night, and they wanted to dedicate it to the victims and their families. 2 of the band members are victims themselves, injured by gunfire during the mass shooting.
Physically, it missed everything important, thankfully, so we're here to play. Mentally, it's going to take a while. We figured that we can give back, though, to some of the victims that weren't so lucky as us, fortunate. So we decided to take a gig that we had already booked here and convert it into a benefit.
The band members say they hope their music will help with the healing. And the music world is mourning the loss of an influential singer-songwriter who created a sound that was all his own. Jimmy Buffett died peacefully on Friday night, surrounded by family, friends, his beloved dogs, and his music. The singer died of a rare and aggressive cancer known as Merkel cell skin cancer. His most famous song, and his only top 10, believe it or not, Margaritaville, inspired an entire brand, including restaurants, resorts, a radio station, and clothing. Jimmy Buffett was 76 years old. Roughly 70,000 people are stuck at a muddy Burning Man venue, but the event CEO says there's no reason for panic. Heavy rain made roads in and out of the festival site, known as Black Rock City, impassable. Some people were able to leave on foot or in all-wheel drive vehicles. The crowd was told to shelter in place and conserve water, food, and fuel. Even though the event's signature burning of the wooden man was delayed twice, CEO Marion Goodell says it's still going to happen.
We won't be taking it apart, putting it away. We are going to burn it. It's a question of how many people are here to see it.
So far, organizers have turned down help from the Nevada National Guard. Video shows the moment a man pepper sprayed a worker before trying to steal jewelry from an El Monte store. The owners of Mesa Jewelry say the man walked in with a hammer and started smashing glass cases. Now, in this surveillance video, you can see the workers fighting back, punching and kicking the man, and then jumping on his back. The owners say the burglary was devastating because they worked so hard to turn this dream into a reality of their shop.
We had been working too much for this business, and then he was just going to take it like that, you know?
After a big cleanup, the store was able to reopen. Detectives are now reviewing footage of the burglary, including this photo of the suspect. They got it from the store owners, who believe the man visited just days before the crime. A touching show of support for a street vendor and a single father. He was attacked and robbed of his savings over the weekend, but the community wasted no time coming to his aid. A group of men jumped Jose Carbajal as he was selling shirts from his truck on Saturday. They stole every penny he had saved to make a deposit on a new apartment for him and his 8-year-old daughter, who has autism. But upon seeing our stories here on NBC4 and Telemundo 52, as well as posts circulating on social media, people from across the city showed up at the corner of Broadway and Manchester to help a man they'd never met.
And my daughter, she has autism as well. So it touched me, you know, to see that.
I have a son who's also autistic, and to see that and for her to go through that, that's pretty bad.
I felt mad, angry, so I was like, I gotta do something, at least something small.
Jose says the support he's received from total strangers is bringing him back to life. Well, next time you go to the bank or maybe an ATM, police want you to pay extra attention to your surroundings. There's been an increase in thieves targeting people after they leave the bank. It's a crime called bank jugging, a little bit like mugging. Fontana police shared this example. They say the driver of the SUV followed a man after he withdrew about $1,000. The man went to a Walgreens, and while he was inside, police say the people in the SUV broke into his car and stole the money. Officers say it's important to always lock your car doors and avoid distractions such as using your phone or earphones. And if you think you're being followed, you should call 911 or head to the nearest police station. Mexico is now in the running to make history. Voters could elect their first female president next year, and the two top leading candidates both have ties to California. NBC4's Makala Medina traveled to Mexico City and spoke with the frontrunners.
Mexico's primaries are a lot like ours. The handshaking, selfie-taking, face-to-face retail politics. The difference here, though, the leading two candidates are both women.
Hoy es tiempo de mujeres.
Dr. Claudia Sheinbaum is leading the race in the dominant Morena Party coalition nomination. The party controls Congress as well as the presidency. She draws thousands to the country's capital city, where she was most recently mayor.
Sabemos que es una mujer de resultados, es una mujer comprometida. Es tiempo de las mujeres.
She already has rock star status, and she's not even nominated by her party yet. The crowds here have gone crazy.
Could be the first woman president of Mexico. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, for me, you know, it's a privilege. I love my country. I love my nation.
Before politics, she was a globally recognized scientist with California ties, a doctorate from Berkeley, and family here in SoCal.
My sister lives in LA.
She says she can relate to so many Mexicans having family in California and the U.S.
You just saw when I asked the people, do you have any relatives that live in the U.S.? Many, they raise their hands. So We are together.
All right, Senadora, gracias por hablar con
Her
nosotros.
biggest challenger, Xochitl Gálvez, who also has cousins in Los Angeles. She talked to us via Zoom.
Yo empecé apenas hace 6 semanas y pues hay encuestas que ya me ponen con 38 puntos.
The polls do have her leading in the nomination for the opposition party. She's a senator from the state of Hidalgo and right now is the biggest threat to the incumbent party maintaining the presidency.
¿Qué piensas de dos mujeres en la carrera de presidente?
Maravilloso para México. Sería algo importante, nunca visto en la historia de nuestro país, porque eso prácticamente aseguraría que la próxima presidenta de México va a ser una mujer. Eso pues no se ha hecho ni en Estados Unidos.
Mexicans don't care. They say, I don't care if it's a man, a woman, as long as they don't rob me.
Pollster Ulysses Beltran says government corruption remains one of the biggest concerns for voters. Both candidates vow to fight it. They also pledged to maintain most of the recent popular programs by the current president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, or AMLO as he's called. He looms heavy over who will be his successor. While he's groomed Claudia, who appears to be his favorite, some voters say she lacks his charisma. Xochitl, on the other hand, has a lot of it.
Salí de la nada y he ganado una popularidad impresionante y él está muy enojado porque él quisiera tenerme de su candidata en su partido.
Mexico is changing and it's changing for good for everybody.
A million Mexicans living here in the U.S. will be able to vote and decide the future of Mexico, a future that will almost undoubtedly be led by a woman.
So I think we will make history with no doubt, because a woman will be president.
In Mexico City, I'm Michael Medina, NBC4 News.
The Little League World Series champs from El Segundo will be honored again, and they deserve it. The team is set to throw out the first pitch at Angel Stadium on Tuesday. The El Segundo team won last Sunday. They were welcomed home last Monday with a big parade, and the team was also honored by the Dodgers. A mother and daughter can say they've shared the same dorm room at Miami University, only they lived in it 33 years apart. New freshman student Sarah Bowling has been randomly assigned the room that her mom Laura lived in. Laura moved into the room in the fall of 1990. Now it's Sarah's room, and she says she plans to make fun memories while majoring in English language arts education. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and on our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune in today on Today in LA on NBC4, weekdays from 4 to 7 a.m. We'll be bringing you all the day's headlines. Thanks for watching The Rundown.